We have finally made it, ladies and gentlemen. Sector 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 have all been done. Check out the playlist of this video guide to see everything, all the feats done for you. Event feats, or the global feats, is the last video that we need to tackle, and boy do we have some doozies in this one. Let's get that red box, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to beautiful Conquest. Event feats, so I've done all of them. It's mostly for you gentlemen at home, and ladies as well. I think there's like 3% of my audience that are actually women. How's it going? So, challenge victory. Basically, we need to defeat 250 enemies on the challenge path. You should do this organically as you progress through. It is that golden path that you see in each sector that leads to additional choices in data discs. You should pretty much always be on that challenge path regardless, so this one you will not need any help with. Massively overpowered, gain that 20 times. You've got to complete This Is Nutsin feat to get the massively overpowered data disc. So this is the win with 4 Gungans in your squad. This one is actually surprisingly easy if you have a number of characters and a good data disc setup. I'll go over some guides on that. It gets you this massively overpowered data disc. This will trigger every time you get 10 buffs on your team. You'll get a massively overpowered buff, and that will let you essentially do massive damage, which is 99,999 points of damage the next time you use an ability. Very easy to trigger. Once you've got that data disc, you can just throw it on at the end, and as you progress through your battles, you'll get it organically, or you can choose to use one of my little cheesy businesses to get it done a little bit quicker. Really up to you. You must learn control. You need to complete a battle with deployable cooling systems active in order to get that deployable cooling systems. There's 2 ways, guys. Firstly, you can choose to buy the Conquest Pass Plus, which I do recommend for players that do not have all previous Proving Grounds characters, and for anybody that wants to save their time and energy in Conquest, or if you're really looking to maximize your data discs or something like that. You will get a free consumable of deployable cooling systems through that. The only other way to get it is by doing the Use Your Instincts buff, feat, which is to win 15 battles with Master Qui-Gon Jinn surviving, which is really not too difficult either. He is a fantastic character, but even low gears, there's plenty of teams that we can put together that will essentially kill the enemy before they take a turn. Next up, we need to attempt to inflict Stagger 100... Oh, sorry, by the way, use Learn Control. You literally just have to use the consumable. It's that easy. So, Reeling Blow is the next one. Attempt to inflict Stagger 100 times. This is only attempt to. You do not need to land it, so if they resist it, that's absolutely fine. We can do that in 1 battle. Win at least 20 battles with a full squad of Nightsisters. This has become incredibly easy with the Great Mothers. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. You just need a little bit of investment, very little investment, and the right data disc setup, and you will blow through these no problem. Win 20 battles with a full squad of Imperial Remnants. Not too bad as well. You do not need to have necessarily Enoch and Death Trooper Peridia and Night Trooper. It helps because you'll have 2 teams, but it can be done with just the Lonely. And then win 15 battles with at least 4 Gungans. We've already gone over that. It's pretty easy. Now, what I recommend for these global feats is that you try to do them as you're going through the systems, obviously through each sector, try to gradually touch them here and there, you know, throw them in teams and stuff like that, but also you can do them right at the end after you've gone through all the sectors, so you've got all your data discs, and then we can use it on mostly just like bonus sector nodes, so either the sector 1 bonus node over here, back here, this will earn you additional data discs. Alternatively, you could go to sector 4, for example, and do the bonus node over here against the Geonosians, and you'll earn yourself really, really good slicing materials to level up your datacrons, okay? Now, these are just, like, fantastic, guys. They are really good. Datacrons will help you perform better in TW and in GAC, which means more crystals for you, more relic materials, more Zetas, all this good business. It's definitely worth it. Cool beans, cool beans. I think we'll start off with the cheesiest of the cheese, and that is going to be doing all of the Staggers in 1 battle. That's right, 100 Staggers. Let's go check it out. So where are we heading off to? We're actually going to Sector 2. The Sector 2 mid-sector boss is a Hux node, which has the rather wonderful Kylo Ren unmasked. Those of you that know this cheese will be infinitely familiar with it. It is essentially going to be using a method where we lock down this Kylo Ren unmasked so he never takes a turn and also never dies. Data disc setup is important, ladies and gentlemen. We want to be using, you can use Voluntary Vanguard if you want that little extra defense, but you want Volatile Accelerator, you want Amplify Agonies, there's no problem at all. And then so long as you do not have a data disc that increases your damage output or puts heal immunity on the character or any of that business, you'll be fine. Nothing to ramp damage. No ramping of the damage. Comprende? Capiche? Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, so what's the team then? What is the actual team that we're going to be using? Well, I'm glad you asked, because you're in my video, and my video will teach you the ways. So we're going to be using Beskar Armor Mando. He's going to be our leadership. Doesn't necessarily need a load of gear, guys. All right, we're going to be using Han, because he's wonderful. We're going to be using Chewie, because not this guy. No. Chewbacca. Not that guy. This guy over here, Chewbacca. Han and Chewie, they pair very well. They pair very nicely with one another. They're a little bit of a dynamic duo, you might say. So who else is going to fill out this form? Well, we can go with a couple of options. The best one is going to be Veteran Smuggler Han. Okay, why Veteran Smuggler Han? Well, because on his basic over here, deal physical damage to the target any, 50% chance to attack again. This chance is doubled if the target is debuffed. So if they're debuffed, he's going to double tap. Han inflicts stagger for 2 turns when he attacks again. So as long as they have a debuff, he's going to double tap. As long as he double taps, he's going to stagger. Volatile Accelerator guarantees that what's his face has always 100% bona fide, completely got that debuff, so he's always going to attack again. That's great. That's smashing. Another option that we can use is someone like Zeb, for example. Zeb doesn't do it on his basic, and that's my main concern here. He does only do it on that special. Now, because we can't have a character that's going to like stun or shock or heal immunity, any of that business, we can't have that happen. We can't use people necessarily like well, I mean, Mara Jade, for example, you throw out that AoE, she does put a stagger out, but it could be an issue. You could use someone like Sabine, her AoE, if you've got the Zeta, that puts stagger out, that sort of thing. For the final position then, I do recommend everybody taking Thrawn. I'm going to take in Thrawn as the last slot here, guys. Where is Thrawny? Thrawn is great, because he can fracture crew. He just fractures him, and then crew doesn't take a turn. Alright. Cool, huh? Now, the reason I use this particular node in Sector 2 is twofold. Because, 1, everybody will have this in their game. It's a static node. 2, bosses have got 10-minute timers instead of 5-minute timers. It gives us more time. One last thing that I would actually recommend before we continue, over here in your inventory, there is a data disk, I can't remember what it's called, Assertive Command. Whenever an ally uses a basic ability on their turn, call a random ally to assist, dealing less damage. Maybe get rid of Voluntary Vanguard and throw this in. This just gives you extra chances at staggers, because we're going to be going auto-basic for a lot of this. Alright, let's do this. So the most important thing that we need to learn from this is we want to be able to get that fracture on Kylo Ren. So the first person you kill should be Sith Trooper. Do not take out Hux until Thrawn has taken his first turn, because after that we're basically going to infinite turn meter loop. So keep people alive, fracture Kylo Ren, kill everybody else. That's stage 1. That's stage 1. Okay, once we get to that point, it's gonna be groovy. Get rid of the ads, and then we just target down crew. You could use your AoEs if you want. I don't know why I used an AoE there. I think I was just having some fun. But see those assists? See those staggers popping up there on crew? Isn't this wonderful? Look at those basics. See those staggers triggering? And we've got 9.5 minutes now where we just leave it on auto basic. That's it. Every single time that Han is doing a basic, he is staggering. Keep watching him. Staggering. And the enemy, look at this first order executioner over here. He has got like 99% turn meter. If we skip ahead, he still hasn't taken a turn, and crew has got 8,000 debuffs on him. This should get you your 100 staggers in one battle, guys. I find it fun. I find it cheesy. I find it delicious. It's a little... You know what I mean? Now, of course, you can organically get your staggers throughout Conquest as you're proceeding. Like I said, anything that's got AoE staggers. Sabina's got it. Bastila Shan Fallen has got it. Mara Jade has got it. There's lots of staggers in the game, but if you don't want to think about that and just want to get it done once, this will sort you out. Wonderful. Now, I also did one on the end sector node where we fight off against Captain Enoch, alright? The boss Captain Enoch, and I decided to see, can we do something with like a Rolo team? So I put none of the volatile accelerators on, I had no amplify agonies or anything like that. All we had was stuff to survive and stuff to reduce their turn meter, stuff like decay turn meter. The good thing about this team that we're facing off against here is that they're incredibly chunky, so they will survive a bit of a beating. So we've got Captain Rex in here. Essentially, we're abusing the infinite turn meter loop mechanics that are baked into the whole Rolo Sana setup, and you can just put this on full auto. You will need to have Sabine's Zeta on her thermal. They did take a turn there for some reason. I'm not sure how or why, but whatever. We don't judge. We don't judge. We do all this business, and you just put it on full auto, and you just maybe manually target other characters. Every time Sabina's doing that AoE, she's doing essentially 5 staggers. It won't get you 100. This won't get you 100 at all. You could probably get some method of this to work against like a Droidica and damage immunity and that sort of thing. But I thought this was relatively brainless, and you can use this to beat the node and still, you know, get yourself a bunch of staggers in the same time. So I'm not going to let you watch all of it because it's just kind of pointless. They don't take turns, guys. They don't take turns. You see, we go all the way down to the end here. 5 minutes left. Eventually they do die. We've had a decent amount of staggers and all that sort of good business, and it'll just help you on your way. In the Sector 4 bonus node against the Geonosians, you can try and get some additional staggers here, and I'm getting some global feats with Master Qui-Gon Jinn surviving. I just throw out that AoE with Mara Jade. It should trigger about 4 staggers a turn, and you get to farm data discs or Datacron materials at the end as well. I'd recommend doing this sort of team with a bunch of different teams, guys. You know, using any of your strong teams, Gas 5 first, throwing Qui-Gon Jinn in the end. You can get those 15 kills gradually over time. I'm not going to go and give you massive prescriptive ones. Anything that's got a lot of damage output, CLS teams, destroy the enemy before they get a turn. Just throw Qui-Gon Jinn as the 5th, and you'll be good to go. Winning with 4 Gungans then. I've just gone 4 Gungans and Qui-Gon Jinn here on that Sector 4 bonus node. This only really works if you've got investment in the characters, but Boss Nass is fantastic with Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony, because his Motorboat special does put out a boatload of debuffs where it essentially kills everybody. So I've got Voluntary Vanguard over here, and they are just wailing on my Phalanx, and they can't do anything to him. I find it hilarious. It's very, very useful. Eventually, after they take about 11 to 100 turns, we motorboat them, and they all just get very, very sad. So easy money. If you've got the investment, you can use this team. But don't worry, there are plenty of other options. Winning with 4 Gungans, if you've got Reva, for example, you all know what Reva does. She starts the turn and they all die. Stuff like that is very, very useful. You can take the exact same approach if you have Lord Vader. Lord Vader takes his first turn, they get a bunch of debuffs, you crush them, boom, everybody dies. If you don't have either of those, you can go to the bonus sector in Chapter 1 to farm the actual Datacrons with Moff Gideon in the leadership. He's demoralized at the start on everybody. So long as he takes a turn, he'll put demoralized on everybody, they'll get a bunch of dots, and then it's game over already. It's like all these sorts of teams can help you get those Gungan wins. You can take the exact same principles and apply it to Master Qui-Gon Jinn, but you get additional characters to play the game with. There are loads of options that will make this work. You just need that Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony data disk setup, and you are good to go. And it lets you farm Datacrons. It's a win-win-win. So getting 20 wins with Nightsisters. If you've got pretty bad Nightsisters, I'd recommend going up against the Sector 1 bonus node to farm Datacron materials. It's relatively easy with Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony, but the real cheese, the real juice, comes with the Great Mothers, and you do not need to have wailed on her. Just have her unlocked at the marquee level, because this is what she does. She starts, she gets a bonus turn, she strips away protection, Amplify Agony kicks in. It's essentially going to defeat the enemy. Oh, he's gone, so I guess we'll take a bonus turn and we'll strip you. Oh, you're dead. Okay, we'll take a bonus turn and we'll just... Oh my gosh, okay, we'll take a bonus turn and we'll... Okay, well, let me just... You get the gist? Great Mothers completely breaks Conquest. It's amazing. She's going to be a fantastic team to be using. And you could burn that down to 1% on any of those bonus nodes to farm the Datacron materials that you need. It'll be a jolly good time and you'll thank me for it. Imperial Remnants, there's 2 proper teams. I'd recommend saving Moff Gideon for a separate one if you do not have good investments in the new Imperial Remnants. But Scout Trooper. Scout Trooper does AoE irresistible staggers, which helps with staggers, guys. At the start, that is going to trigger a bunch of deployable cooling system stuff, not deployable, so Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony stuff to put out loads of damage. You can also then break up a second team of Imperial Remnants using Moff Gideon. Okay, so Moff Gideon, we've already seen what his leadership or what his unique does. With Demoralized, it's going to be putting out lots of debuffs on the enemy, which is basically going to kill them. We do not need the whole team to survive, it just needs to be win 20 battles. So as soon as our Moff Gideon actually takes a turn, which he will eventually, I actually have full investment in these guys, so it's not going to be hard for me. But you see, as soon as Demoralized triggers, everybody basically dies anyway. That's all you need. farm your data disk materials. You're gonna have a good time. Last up, we're going to be using a little bit of that deployable cooling system magic over here. This is going to be farming against a droidica in damage immunity. So this is a combination of deployable cooling systems using that consumable in order to gain that feat. I recommend using it in other areas first and foremost though, guys. Go check out my other sector videos to find out the best places to use it, but this will also help you get deployable cooling systems done a bit faster. All you need to do is get that droidica into damage immunity. Once he's in damage immunity, you will be able to farm out these feats, okay? So I'm using CLS, Han, Chewie, we're using Grandmaster Yoda over here, and we know we're using Vet Han. We're using Vet Han because we need to be able to get, well, no, not because we need to be able to get the staggers. This just gives us a source of staggers. What's not to like about that? So I'm just waiting for that droidica to go into damage immunity. Grandmaster Yoda is spreading buffs. Now, what's spreading buffs doing for us? With deployable cooling systems, 1, it's going to be decreasing our cooldowns all the time. 2, with massively overpowered, it's going to count towards the buff counts that we need to get that massively overpowered. Once that droidica is in damage immunity, we can have a little bit more fun with it. Just going to take out the ads that exist in the team, and then it's just a case of controlling that droidica. Now, unfortunately, I do not have guard over there on CLS, so we're not getting the extra attack there, but as soon as that tenacity downs on droidica, we can start controlling his turn meter. I'm going to hop over there, and I don't know if you saw it there, but we did actually get massively overpowered on Grandmaster Yoda. Now, the good thing about this is that droidica cannot die right now. He's just going to get staggered, so it's going to count for some of our staggers, but every time we do that spready, take a look over here. That's massively overpowered, that's massively overpowered, that's massively overpowered, that's massively overpowered. So every 10 times we gain buffs on individual characters, they're going to gain that as a buff, and that is going to trigger, and it cannot defeat the droidica, so it doesn't matter. We can just farm out quite a lot of this. We only need to do it 20 times. It's relatively simple and straightforward, and you can just keep this droidica stun locked, TM controlled, all that sort of good business, and get all of your massively overpowereds in one turn, in one battle, and also, you know, help towards getting your stagger feat done as well. It's a twofer, guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful time to be in the tribe. I absolutely love finding cheeses like this. It's always good business. It's always good fun. All right. I think that's going to about do it, though, for our cheeses today, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've done 1 or 2 videos in the past couple of days, and by 1 or 2, I think I've done like 8 videos in 6 days. My voice is hoarse. I've also streamed like 4 times this week. It's been fantastic. I want to thank you for all your support. Big shout out to my patrons. You guys are the best, the greatest. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.